Hey guys, I'm having all kinds of trouble with my phone. When someone comes up on the live, the image lingers a bit after, and that's when things start getting a bit laggy on my end. So I need to be careful. I don't know if I should stop doing some code live streaming for a bit. What I should do is just switch out my phone. I got a brand new phone, sort of. It's about 2 years old, so it's not really brand new anymore. Um, anyway, it also switches the time. I'll set the time for my live stream. I get everything set, and then I go check, and it's got a totally different time. Fortunately, over the past year and a half, I've gotten pretty consistent with my live streams. Usually around the same time. I've been known to be a minute or two late. Hey, sissy, how are you? Hello again. We are twinning, both wearing Colbert blue tops. Well, come on up and show me. You're always welcome to come on up. We can try to jazz things up together. I like the thought of a jazz dialogue. You hear me talk about Jack Kerouac, Neil Cassidy. Neil Cassidy was Dean Moriarty in um, On the Road, Jack Kerouac's seminal classic. Um, but later, in his 40s, little stint in prison, um, he became the bus driver for the Merry Pranksters for Ken Kesey, another awesome individual who was volunteered for some medical experiments for the CIA. Little did the CIA know when they were doing these experiments, they were literally creating the people that they were going to be investigating later. Uh, they basically created the 60s because Ken Kesey was so impressed with the experiments with the plant medicine, metaphorically, um, that he actually stole a whole bunch and distributed it. And then he had a chemist, Owsley, make it. Anyway, he formed the Merry Pranksters, which is an informal group of um, hippie predecessors, earliest hippies, and they, hey Sniper, decided to drive across the country and hang out with Timothy Leary, who was doing something similar but a little more buttoned down than Ken Kesey over at Princeton. I'm sorry, Princeton, New Jersey. He had just gotten fired from Harvard. Um, the person who helped get him fired was Andrew Weil, who later became and still is an alternative medicine doctor who reintroduced the 478 breath. Small world, right? Um, however, the Merry Pranksters had a bus that they painted Dayglow and they nicknamed it Further. And their house band, the Warlocks, later became the Grateful Dead, seminal band in my life um, throughout the entirety of the 80s. A little bit into the 90s, but not too much. Um, had I known that Garcia was going to die in, 95, maybe I would have extended my Grateful Dead stay a bit. However, the bus driver, this is the point of the story. The bus driver was um, Neil Cassidy. Yes, Dean Moriarty from On the Road, who had a incessant conversation with anyone who would listen. And even if no one was listening, he still kept up the dialogue. And it was a Zen dialogue. And he would drive the bus with one hand as he juggled a sledgehammer in the other, going precariously over mountain roads. Happy Mother's Day, Nature Guy. Welcome in, my friend. Um, and pretty scary. He ended up dying on a beach in 1970 in Mexico. Um, overdose. George Walker, Merry Prankster friend, um, was the last person to be with him. Coincidentally, not that I'm plugging myself, George Walker is a Facebook friend. All right, let me bring up my live stream on my desktop so I can say howdy to you guys. Anyway, that all had a point that if you go to Soulstar's her live streams, some of her videos, she has that same jazz dialogue. It's beautiful. Um, Absolutely fell in love with her voice and what she's doing. So anytime she wants to come up here and I don't know, see if we can jack Kerouac up the place. All right, I want to bring up our friend. Hey, Raven, nature guy. Have you guys visited his channel lately? He is killing it with the shorts. 141 subscribers. Everyone subscribed to Nature Guy? A Nature Guy, to be precise. Honestly, some of the best nature shorts on YouTube. You see, you got your playlist up too. Nature Guy, have you thought about doing any live streaming? Helps with watch hours. Hey, Joe. She says, so what is this all about? I basically just gave a presentation on how the beat generation morphed into the hippie generation, and why Soulstar should come up and have a conversation. Why Soulstar should come up and have a conversation with me. We talk about whatever, my friend. I talk a lot about yoga. I talk a lot about Course of Miracles. I think it might be too late for Sebastian to come in, but he had a question um, about A Course of Miracles. Didn't really know exactly what it was, which is my bad, as we used to say. Say hi, Ivan. Hey, Ivan. Hey, Stitch. What's going on, Stitch? Stephen says we have rain first time in weeks, and now some lightning. I hope it cools things off a little bit for you. I know it's been hot. So as I explained to Sebastian, Course of Miracles is, hey, Cat. Cat says, I can't help but love that sweet little boy on the thumbnail. This one's a little different. I'm a little less Dennis the Menace. Maybe a little more innocent in this one. Believe it or not, I was 21 years old in that picture. Little did I know I would grow up to be a grizzled old man. I'd have held on to that hair while I had a chance. Sniper says, what's up, Stitch? Hey, Susanna. Nice to see you. Susanna drops a link. She says, please watch. Absolutely. I got you up now. I'm going to hit the like and I will give it another full. I like letting things play through once. And then I go and after the live stream, I watch it again, giving it a little more attention. Hey, Kat and Jack, do you want to come up on the live stream and explain what A Course in Miracles is? Nature Guy says, I did. I'm sorry I missed it, Nature Guy. I will be on a better lookout for you. Phoenix is here, and Dolly says, hey, good evening, young, handsome yogi and beautiful friends. Is there a young, handsome yogi here? I'm a little jealous. Soulstar says, I love how well versed you are with music and pop culture. Well, thank you. Pop culture 1980, 1986 and back. Once you get into, well, once you get in the aughts, the 2000s, I start slowing down a bit. But you know what? Because I love jazz music, I love the beat generation. I love beat poetry. I love the fact that they were chasing truth, but a little disenfranchised with the baby boomers. Fortunately, I'm Generation X by a year. But, you know, I was really taken, in the 80s, I was a late blooming hippie. You know, like I said, I followed the dead. But but you started to see the shadow side of the hippie movement. They began putting aside their ideals and um, become very materialistic, even now. But the Beat generation, they stayed beat. They stayed true to their vision. Look at Allen Ginsberg. Nature Guy says, really, thank you, Yogi. Nature Guy, it's my pleasure. I honestly believe in your channel. I believe in you, um, as does Toy Pups, who you're her number one student. That's saying a lot. Nature Guy says, yes, I thought about it, but not sure how it works. I was thinking of doing a morning walk sometime. That would be nice. Cat says that all. What did I miss? Hey, fishing, hunting, welcome back. So Stitch says you finally hit your goal. You should be happy, right? Oh, Stitch, I can't imagine anyone hating you. You have such clean, exuberant energy. Just you're open, you're honest, you're loving. I can't imagine how can't even be possible. Cat says, "Yep, I noticed." She's laughing. Says, "Stop it." Yeah, I was 21. 21. That was my license photo right there. This was um, never mind. Hey, Maddie. Maddie Chuck says, "Hello, everyone. Hey, Yogi. Nice to see you back, Maddie. I appreciate it." Sniper says, "A self-study spiritual thought system, perfect. Presents a non-denominational approach to achieving inner peace and recognizes the presence of love with the key aspect of forgiveness. And all's an illusion." That was perfect. That was perfect. Now, if you could only say it in a soft, soothing, extremely pleasant Southern, like Tennessean accent, that would be even better. That doesn't let Cat off the hook if she wants to come up and still explain. Cat says, "We love our Stitch." We do. So I hope you know that, Stitch. You got enough love in this live stream right now. Stitch says, "I lost one subscriber." That happens, though. Especially, you know what? You lose one, you'll gain back three. Then you'll lose another, you'll gain back four. You'll stay in the net positive, my friend. Thanks for that explanation, Sniper. That was point on. Sniper says, "Who would like to be my 700th sub? Anyone? Anyone here not subscribed? I can't imagine anyone not being subscribed to the legendary Squirrel Sniper." Man, who's going to be the first? My cat's causing a fuss. Ah, guess what, Sniper? Some guy called Eric McCarty swooped in to make it. I had to do it. Had to be a part of Squirrel Sniper history. Bitch, you guys says what's up to y'all as well. Nice, guys. Maddie says, Stitch, you don't lose a subscriber. They're the ones who are losing out. Perfect, Maddie. Thank you for that. Hey, Karen. Karen, nice to see you. Jamie Jones says, so can I have a mod sometime? Well, there were some issues here every time we tried it. And we asked you not to spam up the place. And you said no, because you're going to spam up the place. If you can let me know that you're not going to spam up the place. Hey, Troutmaster. How are you? So I don't mind. I never mind you being a mod, but you know, if we ask for a favor because it's respectful for everyone, this is a treat. Hey, Fisherman's Lodge, Stuart's here.
I'm not Stuart.
Well, you sure? Let me hear the voice. If I hear a Scottish accent,
Yeah, I can't. I'm no
yeah.
good at accents.
But for me, you have a perfect Southern accent.
I fake that.
Do you?
Yes.
I heard you. I heard you really fake it in a video. When you and that was like you turned it on deep.
For my kids.
Yeah, it was good though.
Yes.
You were
Yes. I had to
pushing.
come on because we're watching.
So I don't know if everyone knows that you are a fellow student of A Course in Miracles.
I'm a baby student.
I think we're all baby students. I've been doing it
Okay.
for over 30 years, and I'm a baby student. And sometimes, some days, I'm reminded deeply what a baby student I actually am.
Yeah.
Today was an example. I was unable to shake cloud of darkness that's been hovering over me for a little bit, and today it just decided to storm a bit.
Yeah.
And I know you've had those days.
Mm-hmm.
And what did we both say?
What do we say?
We say it's okay.
Okay. I just woke up, by the way.
Did you? Nap time?
Yes. Yes.
Let's see. Hold on 1 second. Stuart says, Yogi, read my cat comment, please. Cat comment. Am I the male version of cat? No.
You could never.
Yeah, I don't like to think of that, Stuart. But did you hear me read Sniper's description of A Course in Miracles?
No.
Let me see if I can find it again. Before I read it, do you want to give a subscription?
A description. What it means for me, and I know it's not the official definition, but for me, A Course in Miracles taught me who I am, who I really am.
Nice. I like that.
But that's why I want to do this co-stream with you, because I can learn more.
Here's one of the things I love about A Course in Miracles. It lets us off the hook.
Yeah.
We don't need to be perfect. You know, in my time of seriously practicing yoga, I often tried to be the perfect yogi practitioner, and failing miserably over and over again, and that would just lead to more frustration, which would lead to harder work, and it became a circle, uh, especially when you're chasing enlightenment, um, and you go to extremes. Course in Miracles is gentle, and it says just as often as possible, choose the right teacher. And the right teacher is always and only a loving thought. Anything else isn't true. So it's not that you're wrong, it's that you're choosing a illusion, which is okay.
Yeah.
Because we all do.
Yes.
But
But you're right.
eventually, what's that?
I didn't even think about the letting you off the hook. It absolutely does.
Right. Maybe it appeals to me because I'm inherently lazy. Because I can just, I like to call it the cosmic shrug. I can just shrug and say, I'll try again. But the beautiful thing is, I always do. I always do try again. And I suspect that you do too.
Yes.
Which it's the beauty of a spiritual path is you're gonna stray. It happens. And that's what I love about, you and I have talked about this often, just choosing the right teacher. But sometimes you choose the wrong teacher. if you choose your own teacher, are you going to put yourself in the corner? Or me, having raised, Catholic, I'm not even going to put myself in the corner. I'm going to take a ruler and slap myself on my knuckles, um, and make myself do 1,001 Hail Marys or something along those lines. Um,
Yes.
or I can just say, choose the wrong teacher. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what
It's
snipers.
changed my life.
And it's how long's it been for you practicing?
I did the full year, and maybe I'm 6 months just dabbling right now.
Nice. You know what? After you do the full year, I like the dabbling. I like doing a intuitive approach where my fingers. I did that all actually the past 10 years. Um, I first finished the after over a decade of attempting. I finished the workbook and the text in 2008. I first picked up A Course in Miracles in 1993. So it took me a while.
Wow.
That tells you a lot about how stubborn my ego actually is.
Hmm.
Um, but my life was falling apart in 2008. Um, my mother was dying of Alzheimer's. My father had a stroke. Uh, Mocha asked for a divorce, and then she was shipped over to Iraq for a year's duty and asked me to stay with my stepdaughter. So I was caregiver for my parents. I was single stepfather for my stepchild she was entering high school for her first year. Worried sick about Mocha and feeling guilty that I was sad and upset about getting a divorce when she was such worse conditions. You know what I mean? It felt like I had the weight on the world, but I also knew how much harder it was for her being in Iraq. Um, so that's when I knew it was time to do the course, because I was in desperate need of forgiving myself, forgiving my situation, uh, and forgiving my perceived hurts. Um, and then I did for a long time what you're doing. I just not really dabbling, but exploring at my own pace, in my own way, at my own time for what worked for me. So, if you don't mind me saying so, I think you are far from a dabbler.
Well, I'm ready to get really serious again.
Good. Um, so I decided I did the course, the whole thing one more time, and I think it was 2014. Um, and I'm doing it again this year. Then I'll go back in that intuitive approach again. Um, if you want to do it uh, all the way through again, because you and I are talking about presenting it, would be a good
Yeah.
opportunity. If any,
Yes. Absolutely. I plan on being right there.
good. Do you want to tell anyone about it? Not anyone specific, but like everyone, as a collective.
About like the lessons.
Yeah, and what you and I were thinking about doing.
Oh, I'll let you. Well, no, I'll let you. I'm just
Um,
practicing this, getting comfortable.
sure. We're talking about presenting the entire workbook lesson, and then maybe we haven't talked about this. Um, Selected readings from the text. Um, but it would be, I guess, I would do a daily video, and then, although I know you can't do it that often, you have the most clever and inspired,
Mm.
creative um, presentations of a course, along with the tarot readings that I've seen on all of YouTube. And
Well, thank
I'm not just saying that at all. I mean that sincerely. I absolutely love them, and I rewatch them quite a bit. It's almost a little bit of a shame though, because rewatching your shorts don't bring you watch hours. Um, because it was like just watch hours, I think I would have gotten you monetized by now. uh, because I just love watching those shorts over and over again. Because you're just so darn charming when you do it, and you're so sincere, and you can tell that you really care about your presentation. Um, so, like, if you when you have free time, if you say, "Hey, I wouldn't mind presenting this lesson," because you had something in mind, that would be perfect.
Yeah,
But you're
I'll
much
keep that
busy.
in mind.
You're much busier than I am, so I know it would be like on a um, whenever you can basis.
Right, right. Yeah.
Hey, well, I have you here. Does anyone have questions about A Course in Miracles? Do you mind if anyone asks you like questions yourself? Because it's not often we get to see you on a live stream face to face.
Um, we can try it.
Okay. Any questions for Kat or for me? Or for me? Hey, Abigail. Um, Such says on the way to a cemetery. Cheyenne's here. Hi, Cheyenne. Let me read what I pinned the comment. What Sniper said. His description of Course in Miracles, and I think he nailed it. A self-study spiritual thought system. It represents a non-denominational approach to activating inner peace and recognizing the presence of love with the key aspect of forgiveness. And all's an illusion. I like that. Hey, Big Al. Um, Big Al says, and hello, Yogi. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's to you. The um, the thing about the illusion confuses a lot of people. How can things that hurt so much, um, things that we love so much, how could that possibly be an illusion? And we would say the same thing if we were actually dreaming. If we were in a sleep dream, everything is real until we wake up. So the key isn't to necessarily believe that everything is illusion, um, although I think it becomes more and more clear as you proceed through working through the course. But the key is to realize that your thoughts are imposing its own reality upon a world that doesn't hold that reality. That um, everything that we see, we're putting our perspective on. What do you think?
Good job.
But thank you. Um, was there anything in the course of the workbook that like really I'm going to use a old fashioned fancy word, flummoxed? Were you ever flummoxed by something in the course?
Um, well, to begin with, I follow David Hoffmeister, and he would always read the text before the workbook lesson. And nowhere does it say this text goes with, well, that I found tells you this text goes with this lesson.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily match up. I know some people who've never read the text before and they just
I
do the
think
work.
it's missing out.
Um, I'm going to read. Sniper does have a question. What kind of situation led to the need for forgiveness? That's a good question. And now, do you want me to answer that and can't answer it maybe personally? Like, what was it in my life that led to the need to practice forgiveness? Or are we talking uh, from the course itself in life? Like, why do we need to practice forgiveness? Um, hey, Nature's Dog Realm, Chris is here. As explained in the course, the reason we practice forgiveness is we are undoing perceived, we're undoing perceptions so we get to reality. That uh, we are judging bodies, we are judging thought systems, we're judging perceptions, but we're not seeing the entirety of who we truly are. So when we forgive, we're undoing the perception of the body, and we're seeing it's the essence of namaste, that the holiness, the divinity within me recognizes and salutes. Mistakes, sins, judgments, grievances are on the level of form. Forgiveness is asking us to see past form into the light, into the holiness that we are. So when we do that, when we forgive that way, we're literally coming home. We're literally dropping the perception and we're seeing reality clearly. It bypasses the ego, goes straight to spirit. Was there a situation in your life that um, demanded forgiveness that you're like, okay, now here's where the uh, rubber meets the road, where I need to, if I don't practice forgiveness, I'm going to sink. I'm going to go so far into whatever depression, into sadness, into heaviness, if I don't practice this. Um, just something like that for you.
Yeah, I was just sick of myself.
I
I
love
was,
that.
I fall into depression. I can go pretty deep into it and stay there and waller and just roll around in the mud.
Now
And
you, now
if
you,
it's not
now your
tough,
Tennessean is coming out.
oh, okay.
You got Southern there. Gonna waller in the mud.
um, but I told you the other day, David Hoffmeister, I saw the love in his eyes for another person. And that just affected me so greatly. I wanted what he had.
Um, I've had experiences like that as well with a lot of different teachers. When you see that light, when you see someone forgive, when you see someone just reach out with such tenderness, hey Sue says Cat and Jack, um, your heart breaks in not in a bad way,
No,
meaning
it's
it
no good.
exactly, beautifully said. Um, when you said it hit me right between the eyes when you said you were sick of yourself, because I remember saying that to people. I don't want to believe that I'm Eric any longer, because I didn't like him. Semper says, was there, Semper brings the best questions, by the way. Was there a situation, a synchronicity leading up to your awareness of the Book of Miracles?
I think I kept finding different teachers that led me to A Course in Miracles. I kept hearing about it. And that's when I found David Hoffmeister talking about it himself.
Right. Um, I'll answer that too. But first, um, Maddie, Maddie says your hillbilly is showing cat.
What's showing?
Your hillbilly.
Funny, I'm not from here.
No, you've actually lived a couple different places, right?
Right.
Stuart says, Eric McCarty, did Cat say yes? She did not say yes. She's not the female version of the fish whisperer, and you are not you are not the male version of Cat. I would never ever be able to think of either one of you in the same light ever again.
Nobody can do you like you do you.
That's true. This is true. Um, for me, much like you, I just kept hearing everything I read. Um, someone would mention A Course in Miracles all through the 80s. And finally, I was like, well, I don't want to read A Course in Miracles, but I'll read a book about A Course in Miracles. So I read Marianne Williamson's Return to Love. And then I decided, all right, I'm going to. Stuart disagrees, by the way.
I saw. Of course he does.
So which one is it, Stuart? Do you consider yourself the male version of Cat, or do you consider Cat the male version of you? Again, the thought is just too disturbing for me to entertain for too long.
I mean, come on, Stuart.
Um, All right. I think that pretty much you can't refute that, you know? As well, she's not tying flies. She didn't say trout fishing once. We've had a conversation for even up here probably for 20 minutes. So not once did he say trout fishing. Um, and you haven't shook your head and said yogi, 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 yogi. That, by the way, that was my Stuart impersonation. How was it?
You lost your accent.
Well, you heard my Scottish accent yesterday.
It was awesome.
Thank you.
Amazing.
I appreciate that. Stitch says, question for Kat. Can you please do more of the cards? That's an excellent question.
Well, Stitch knows because I sent her one of my bloopers that I am working on it. It's just going very slow. But I love you, Stitchy.
I've told you before, you can, anytime you want, you can come on up and offer to pull a card for anyone. If you want. Whenever you, go ahead.
Not my gift. I'm learning the tarot through doing this.
Right. Stuart says, no, he is. I am the male version of Kat.
Everybody's got to be something.
Yeah, no offense. I don't want to taint my version of Kat. I don't ever want to like look at you and think, huh, that's just like Stuart. I don't want that thought I don't want that thought to ever enter my head. Stuart says, what Scottish accent? I did a perfect Scottish accent yesterday.
You must have missed it.
I will never do it again. Because you know what? when you know something once, why repeat it? Because you know it's never going to be quite the same.
Exactly.
So I would, Stuart, if Kat wants to do an impersonation of me doing my Scottish accent, feel free. Not to put you on the spot.
Yogi, yogi, yogi.
That was perfect. That was the perfect Stuart impersonation. Maybe Stuart has a point. Stuart says he wasn't there. Nope. How long have you been doing the cards?
Oh, when I started these videos.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
How
that
long,
fresh.
So how long have you been doing the videos?
Well, I've only
Not
had
a year.
No, gosh, no. The tarot videos that I'm doing. It's only been a couple months.
Hey, how were you inspired to combine Course in Miracles with the cards?
I was looking for something that was kind of my own that I did on YouTube. And you mentioned to Lucy, if you ever want to come up and pull a card, you can.
Right.
Or you said something about making videos, and I was like, dang it, I'm taking that idea. But it still didn't feel quite right to me. So I don't know. Somebody spoke it to me. I don't know.
Genius, by the way.
Thank you.
Corner Clubhouse is here. Said hi. Appreciate that. Stuart says he's been doing a bunch of lives. Hey, what did you think of forgiveness as presented by a course? Because it throws virtually everyone off because we all have this version of forgiveness where we're bestowing something upon another. And we all have this thing. You were in the live stream a couple days ago when someone brought up Hitler. No,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna forgive up Hitler. And we all have our own personal. Hey T, our own personal personification of evil. This person has done such horrendous crimes to me. I will never forgive, or I will forgive, but I won't forget, which isn't really forgiveness as offered by the course, because forgiveness as offered by the course is selective forgetting. We're choosing to forget the body. We're choosing to forget the error. We're choosing to forget the perception that something happened so that we can see the holiness that shines from all of us. Hey, T, you have any questions for Kat?
Hi, T.
Zephyr says, even Hitler did play jungle at 3 a.m. in the morning. Yes. Once there was a spark, a God spark, a light buried deep. Some people, you got to dig deep to overlook the form. But we're never making the body real. We're never dealing with the perception of sin, because that would be too much to forgive. Also, we are not the forgivers. We turn forgiveness over to the Holy Spirit. It's the Holy Spirit that forgives. Even God doesn't forgive. I've actually heard you mention that. You typed it in.
I asked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I guess I was a little unclear about forgiveness also until I don't know what happened, but I believe we're just forgiving our belief in this illusion, believing that we could be anything less than the spark of God that we are.
Right. You know, that God spark, that was from you. That was the first time I heard it described that way. And I've been using it ever since. And I claim full authorship. I don't even mention you.
That's okay. I don't know where I got it from.
It was all me.
Okay, yeah.
I give you full credit. Let's see. We got a couple questions. Nature Guy says, how has your life changed since taking the course? Dramatically and drastically and revolutionary. My entire life is devoted to continuous 24/7 forgiveness and the peace that it brings me. That doesn't mean that I don't hold a grudge, doesn't mean that I don't have grievances, that I don't have resentments. It means that I know I can forgive them. I can let them go. And that brings me such a great sense of joy. I think a lot of people, when they first start practicing the course, um, exempt themselves from forgiveness, and they get so upset. I judged this person. I lost my temper. I got angry. The course doesn't say don't do anything. It says simply choose again. And you have an entire lifetime to choose again, an entire lifetime of practice, and everything becomes a practice. Everything's an opportunity. I used to not like the life as a classroom metaphor, because I didn't like the thought of that we're assigned classes that we have to take, lessons that we have to learn, because I was a rebellious student in actual school. So it didn't sit well with me. But now I realize what was being said is it's a classroom, it's a lesson, because that's what we have in front of us. It wasn't that we cosmically chose it. It's that this is what is appearing now. And we can either learn from the Holy Spirit, the voice of love, or we can learn from the ego, which is always going to judge, always going to have resentment, and we're always going to feel the worse for having chosen it eventually. How about you? How's your life changed?
I'm a whole lot happier. Easier to get over stuff. Certainly not perfect. But one of the things, I can see people so much differently, and it's so great. And I don't know, sometimes, I get off of the course and into some ideas that you don't really go for. But the other day I saw a homeless man, and he was walking down the street, and in my mind it was like, oh, you're just a fellow person just going through this with your own story. And as I was watching him, he stopped and he hitched up his pants as if to say, oh, my mask is show is falling down. I got to pull it back up. It's
Nice.
great.
Hey, can I don't like correcting people. Can I offer a little correction though?
Absolutely. That's what I do.
When you're doing the hitching, you got to say trousers or
Trousers.
breeches or britches.
Okay.
I'm just helping you with your hillbilly a little bit.
Thank you.
And now that I'm 60, things that I'm learning, I'm supposed to say trousers or britches. I'm also I'm supposed to wear them up past my belly button now. So I'm working on that.
Oh, no.
I don't make up the rules. I gotta live by them. So britches up to here. I might even get some suspenders. I actually might have some suspenders laying around somewhere.
As long as actually trying to hold them up past your belly and up over your butt.
Well, these are just going to be decorative suspenders.
Sure, why not?
No actual practicality.
Didn't Robin Williams wear suspenders? He was cool.
He was cool.
Yeah.
He was cool. Stuart wants to know what you do with the eggs.
I eat some and then I feed the rest back to the chickens.
Nice. Maddie says, I struggle with believing in any version of God or a higher being or any type. Do you need the belief to have true forgiveness? No, you do not need to believe in God. A lot of people will ask me, or a lot of people come in and say, I don't believe in God, especially in my morning live streams, and they expect me to debate. And I say, I don't believe in God either. Now, I don't believe in the same God they don't believe in. And I don't believe in the concept of God or a description of God. That I believe in the actuality of love, the actuality of life. And forgiveness is just seeing life without the story that we assign it. That way, it's funny. There's a lag in my desktop, and when I look and talk to you, and I look to read a comment, so I looked, and on the big screen, you were hitching up your trousers. I like getting the instant replays. Let's see. So, yep, to do the true forgiveness, that's all it is realizing that life is happening without the story that we assign it. Nature Guy says, forgive yourself. That's a hard one, isn't it? It is. It is. It has been the hardest thing for me. But this is why we forgive. Because when we can't forgive ourselves unless we're willing to forgive others.
Oh, one of the lessons in A Course in Miracles talks about an event. You might have a light event. There's some amazing stuff going on with A Course in Miracles.
I agree. I was watching Jack in the background. Swimming on the bed. Hey, John. Let's see. T says, question, with the shift going on, what do you recommend with manifesting for a beginner?
Oh, you don't have an opinion on the shift, Yogi?
I don't have an opinion on the shift. I do have thoughts on manifesting. You and I share a lot of that. Both you and I are have a fondness for Seth and Sething, a coin that you and I've coined together. What a deep influence you've had on my live streams and how I present it and my life. I just want to take a moment to thank you for that. I don't know if you actually know it or realize it, but you are such a deep presence, and it's felt every live stream, every time I click the button. So just know that.
Thank you. That's because, we are mirrors.
Well, but if you and I are mirrors, then that means that I'm
The ball.
also a no, well, I'm also a male version of Stuart the Fish Whisperer. Uh,
It's the spirit. It's what's inside, not
okay,
the costume.
okay. Not that I have a problem being the um well, I don't fish, so I guess I can't be. And we are politically different as two people can be. Um, Nonetheless, he's a brother. He's a good friend. Um,
Hmm.
let's see. Oh, so manifesting and the shift. Take it away, Kat.
I think I can't remember the exact quote, but Albert Einstein has this quote about changing your life, and you can't find the answer to the solution while you're in the problem or from the same place the problem was created.
Yep.
And I feel like manifesting, it's important to be, gosh, this sucks, man. I hate my job, but you know what? I am going to make the best of it, and I'm going to find a way to be happy, dang it. And when you do that, it's so much easier to manifest because you're in a new energy and you're in a more accepting and open energy. That's all I got for now.
Um, I like that, and that aligns with Abraham Hicks that
Yeah.
you need to match your vibration with that which you want to create. But most of us don't do that. Most of us are attempting to create from a place of lack. And the other day, I quoted the English mystic Thomas Troward. He said that the laws of flotation were not achieved by contemplating that which sinks. So if we're always thinking about the things that sink, how are we ever going to manifest something that floats? Put your mind on what you want and raise your vibrations. However, maybe it's going to be whatever brings you joy, dancing. Uh, Put on good music when you're totally alone and just dance, feel good, meditate, do something to get out in nature, and then match that energy with what you want and start thinking in terms of having and not achieving. When you want to achieve something, it means it's already outside of you. You're always reaching, you're always striving. So it's that carrot stick. And we spend our lives chasing it. But if you want to manifest, have I ever told you the 4 ways of manifesting strawberry ice cream?
I think I've missed it, but I know you like to tell the story, so let's hear
I do like to tell the story. And
it.
so there's 4 ways of manifesting strawberry ice cream. And they are on a scale of vibration and consciousness. The first one is you're sitting on the couch and you say, I would love a bowl of strawberry ice cream. And you get up and you go to the freezer and you prepare yourself a bowl of strawberry ice cream. You go back down, you sit down. Wonderful way of getting strawberry ice cream. Um, but it's on a lower vibratory rate because now you're involved, you're doing stuff. Second way, a little higher up is let's just imagine that um, I visited Kat and I'm sitting on her sofa and I say, Kat, I would love a bowl of strawberry ice cream. Would you mind getting me a bowl of strawberry ice cream? And Kat, being a gracious host, said, sure, I would love to get you a bowl of strawberry ice cream. Um, and she makes one for herself and she makes one for me. And we sit and we have a bowl of strawberry ice cream. Now, it was less energy physically on my end because someone cooperated with my wish to have strawberry ice cream. A little bit higher consciousness, a little bit higher state of consciousness. The third way, we're starting to follow the path of synchronicities. Sniper's going to like this. I'm thinking to myself, I would love to have a bowl of strawberry ice cream. And Kat walks by and she says, hey, I just happened to make an extra bowl of strawberry ice cream. She would do such a thing. She's very intuitive. Would you like it? And I would say, yes. I was just thinking about that. How do you know? And she would say, you know what? Because I'm in the zone. I'm vibing with you. So now we're raising up in that level of consciousness, following the synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences. The fourth way, the highest state, the gift of loaves and fishes, is when we say, I would love to have a bowl of strawberry ice cream. And in our hands is a bowl of strawberry ice cream. Are you going to get there? I don't know. Cat's going to get there. Am I going to get there? I don't know. But hey, if you make it to that level of synchronicity, you're doing pretty awesome. Doing pretty awesome in life. And we can all get there. We can all get to that stage. In order to get to that pure manifestation phase, we need to fully be attuned with our own Christ consciousness, and maybe that'll happen in this lifetime. Uh, but we all got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
That's how we manifest strawberry ice cream. So, to answer T's question, you know what? You know what I liked about this conversation, Kat? You were just as long-winded as I was. Uh, you cooperated with me. A simple question from T, and we gave, I think, a 12-minute answer. So
Yeah.
thank you for joining me on the meandering path of YouTube live streaming.
You're very welcome. Thank you. I'm going to go.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I appreciate it.
I had fun, and I can't wait till we do this for real.
It's a good practice run.
Yes. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you. Let's see. Nature Guy says, we all like that story. Thanks. Oh, strawberry ice cream can be vegan. You can get vegan. You can get it made from oat milk, and it's really, really good. You wouldn't even know. All right. That was a wonderful visit. Stitcher says, Yogi, did he mean the match with Kat? I didn't even know Kat was coming up. It was a happy surprise. I have never purposely matched with anyone or anything in my entire life. Sometimes I'd have people point out that the thing I was wearing matched, and I was like, nope. I refuse to accept that I've ever matched anything. Shahai, it's nice to see you. Shahai says, so my sweet friend Yogi. Hello, Shahai. So wonderful to see you. Simpa says, if an attack is ultimately an illusion projected from our own minds, what is the fundamental nature of this projection mechanism? How does belief in separation to the experience being wrong? The fundamental nature of every projection is guilt. We are projecting our guilt, which manifests as fear, and fear is many faceted. It comes about through resentment, it comes about through grievances, it comes about through anger. All of it is fear based, and that fear is based on guilt. What is the guilt? Whether we fully realize it or not on a conscious level, we've been raised, we've been steeped. The entire world is based upon guilt. Western civilization, the basis is original sin. Imagine that. Sin's been mistranslated. It means mistake. And yet we took it as something so grievous that we were kicked out of the garden. We were kicked out of heaven. We weren't kicked out of heaven. So that's where separation comes to play. We have manifested that guilt so thoroughly that we believe that we are separate from the source, separate from God, whatever belief of God we might entertain, and we believe that we are separate from each other. In order to heal the world, we need to alleviate ourselves from that sense of guilt. In order to alleviate the guilt, we need to see past fear. The way we do that is through forgiveness. The way we do everything is through forgiveness. Sniper, you always have questions that are so on point. Shahai says, Happy Mother's Day, Yogi, my friend. Thank you so much, Shahai. My mother's been very much on my mind for the past week, from last week, which was her birthday, to this week, which is Mother's Day. Thank you so much. T says, Kat, thanks for that awesome sister. She was awesome. I'm starting to lag again. Yeah, that hanging out with Kat, that lifted me up quite a bit. Shahai says, Zamzam Ali, join done. Oh, there it is, Zamzam. Hello, my friend. Shahai says, so beautiful, Cat and Jack. Absolutely. Stitch says, by the way, Cat, Jack is the fool. Sniper says, oh, where'd we go? Stuart's going to have some rice pudding and peaches. That sounds pretty good. T says, Yogi, how long is Course in Miracles, please? It is 700 and some page text and 365 page workbook, and then a manual for teachers, which I've recently have fallen in love with. Shirley says, how was your outlet? I haven't seen the outlet. I did see an owl this morning, but not the outlet. But the outlet is nowhere in that spot. So I'm assuming the outlet is fine. Hey, MK. Hey, Nature Guy. Thank you, too, for your questions. So, T, Kat and I are going to present A Course in Miracles. The whole thing, well, the whole workbook. And then maybe like key sections of the text. Shirley says, Squirrel Sniper, I read it and realized that my IQ cannot compute. He says, we were punished for sin, not understood. We all make boo-boos. We all do make boo-boos. And the level of form, we all do. On the level of spirit of which we are. Remember Pierre Talahar Desjardins, he said that we are not human beings who have an occasional spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. When we see past form to spirit, forgiveness becomes infinitely easier. Kat says it's easier to control all of us if we think we were sinful and need somebody, or something else to make us holy. Beautifully said. So true. Plus, believing ourselves to be sinful gives us an out, gives us an excuse. Hey, I'm a sinner. You know, how easy is that? No one wants to believe in their own divinity. Why is it so much easier to believe that we are sinners than believe in our own divinity? When I always refer back to the sixth day in Genesis, God surveyed his creation and said it was good, all of it. Didn't say it's all good except for that bald guy in glasses. I messed up a bit with him. Should have gave him a little more hair. Stephen says, Eric, when I fell 40 feet on my way down, I felt a new experience. All I felt was guilt. But when I saw myself on the ground unconscious, I had no fear. You know, one of my favorite course-centered books, Love is Letting Go of Fear. We could say that in Sniper's Fall, he fell in love with himself, deeply so. Thank you for asking for that about the outlet, Shirley. T says, Yogi, that would be awesome, but please don't do it too early in the morning when you know I'm asleep. Well, here's what we're going to do is videos. So you can watch it on your own. And I'll probably start the videos, and then Kat, when she's inspired, will make one of her masterpieces. And then once a week, we were talking about doing what we did here, This was our practice run. So it would be entirely based upon questions and exploring uh, the course and the workbook lessons. Nature says, first step to solving a problem is admitting there is one. Yes. Nicely said. Hey, Rebecca. Rebecca, Bumblebee T was here giving you the hugest plug. Shirley says, Sniper, please don't be sorry. My mind will expand. You're helping that. Kat says, sorry, I had to rush off. That's okay. You know what happens when you first wake up. For me, I say thank you, thank you, thank you. And then I do exactly what you probably did. He says, Sniper, did your pain consume you? That there was no fear? Sniper says, Shirley, I'm sorry for my words. Hopefully Eric explains it. Did my best. So let me give you, a lot of people never get past the first lesson of the Course in Miracles. He says, hey, Rebecca, how did it go? How did it go? Drew says, hey, Rebecca, thank you for popping in earlier. He says, Bumblebee T, the concept just got too deep for my understanding for now. Here's my suggestion, especially when we talk about A Course in Miracles, particularly when we talk about A Course in Miracles. It's actually beyond understanding on a certain level. You got to let go of trying to understand and just let it absorb. Because A Course in Miracles is very simple. Not easy, but simple. Here's A Course in Miracles in a nutshell. We have two teachers within us. We have a split mind. We have the ego as presented by A Course in Miracles. Somewhere else you might find a different definition. The definition matches the same definition as Buddhism and yoga. It's a false representation of who we are. It's those thoughts that we have in our head. It is who we think we are on the level of form. But who we truly are is pure unconditional love. We're soul. We are spirit. We are consciousness. The Course says that we are one mind. We share that one mind with God. But in the seemingly split mind, we have the ego and we have the Holy Spirit. Two teachers. Every loving thought that we have is true. Any other thought is an illusion. Consistently, as often as possible, choose love. Choose love. Choose love. There it is. Your life will be so much more joyful. Kat says, Rebecca posted a link. Absolutely. She says, I'll check it out later. She says, Kat, do you mean Rebecca's link to the fundraiser or short? Yeah, so if anyone would like to join in on the exploration, I read this morning. This is from chapter 18, the ending. And when the memory of God has come to you in the holy place of forgiveness, you will remember nothing else. And memory will be as useless as learning. That's what I mean about understanding. for your only purpose will be creating. Yet this you cannot know until every perception has been cleansed and purified and finally removed forever. Forgiveness removes only the untrue, lifting the shadows from the world and carrying it safe and sure within its gentleness to the bright world of a new and clean perception. There is your purpose now. It is there that peace awaits you. Your purpose is forgiveness. Forgiveness cleans the perception. The world that we see is our perceptions based upon the projection of guilt. This is why we see separation. This is why we see crime. This is why we see violence, why we see warfare, why we see people allowing children to starve, why we see people being allowed to be homeless who don't choose to be homeless. Um, this is why we see political discord. This is why we see um, every crisis that we have, because we are projecting our own fear, our own sense of guilt onto the world, causing this sense of separation. And yet, it's not the real world. Jesus gave explicit directions. The kingdom of heaven is within, and we immediately look elsewhere, everywhere but, and we still refuse. If the kingdom of heaven is within, then why are we having people tell us how to find it in another world when we're dead? And believing that we have to believe certain things in order to attain heaven. The kingdom of heaven is within, it's already attained. We just need, as the Course says here, we just need to remember it. So let me read the introduction. This is A Course in Miracles. It is a required course. Only the time you take it is voluntary. Free will does not mean that you can establish the curriculum. It means only that you can elect what you want to take at a given time. The Course does not aim at teaching the meaning of love, for that is beyond what can be taught. It does aim, however, at removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence, which is your natural inheritance. The opposite of love is fear, but what is all encompassing can have no opposite. This course can therefore be summed up very simply in this way: nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists, therein lies the peace of God. All right. Hey, the Reinhardts. Reinhardt says, what's up, my people? Hope you're having a wonderful day. So far, how about you? I hope you are too. Kat says, I would love to go on this journey with a bunch of new friends. I'm excited to see the miracles happen. Too, Kat. He says, Yogi, I'm interested. Shirley says, I posted Nick's short earlier. It's very cute. Please take a look if you have 22 seconds. Absolutely. So there's a handy way of going to Nick's page. He is a featured channel on my homepage. Is a featured channel on Toy Pup's homepage. Let's bring that up now. Hey. Again.
Yeah. Those are all wishes, huh? Yeah. Thank you, son.
You're welcome, Mom. Happy Mother's Day!
That was absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And there was so much love and joy in 22 seconds. Here's the proof that time doesn't really exist. How do you contain infinite love and joy in 22 seconds? And there you have it. Guys, make sure you leave a comment and watch it. I would love to drop the link, but it would just come right back here. I apologize. I wish I could. Here's the thing. Here's one of the big things about A Course in Miracles. In order to get better at forgiveness, in order to be a better student, you need to teach, because you teach what you most need to learn. Kat says, no one can feel he seeks the truth. Absolutely. Rebecca, my friend, such a wonderful thing that you did. Simpa says, looking forward to that short, Rebecca. Rebecca says, thank you, Bumblebee. You're amazing. This community is great. Thank you for dropping that link. Manny says, okay, everyone, I'll see you next Wednesday. I'm going to be away from technology, and it's a burden for a week and a half. You'll be safe. Maddie? You know, you've only been coming on for a short time, but I very much appreciate your company. He says, Rebecca, did you find the work? I'm so proud of you. How was that climb? Do you like heights? I do not like heights. Shirley says, thank you so much. Shirley, thank you for sharing that. I love sharing someone's joy. Man, all the barriers come down. When you see that joy between you two, when you see the love between you two, every single barrier comes down, and there's just the presence of love. Thank you, Shirley. Kat says, bye, Maddie. Good on you for technology, free time. Shirley says, Bumblebee, my child. That is really making me think. It seems like you're in the right place and time in your life, Nature Guy, for this to really be absorbed, to really hit you. I've been in that same spot. I remember when I first learned how to meditate, thinking, why isn't everyone taught this? Why isn't this taught in school? Why wasn't I taught this when I was a kid? How much different my life would have been. Hey, Anthony. Anthony says, so everyone. Nature Guy says, absolutely, Yogi. In my opinion, for whatever it's worth, Nature Guy, everything seems to be coming together for you. Your decision to grow your creativity through your YouTube channel, and the work that you're doing and that you're sharing, these key aspects of your life so important to you, and you do it in such a creative way, masterfully, my friend. Yeah, it seems like everything is just coming right together for you. Nature Guy says, we did not cross paths at this time and place by random chance. I agree. Sniper says, love you, Mom, miss you, Mom. Amen, Sniper. Joining you in prayer, my friend. So just a minute or two, we'll wrap things up. Becca says, thank you, Bumblebee. That means a lot. And yes, she has school tomorrow. MK says, awesome, Becca. That deserves a woo-hoo, or just a woo. I added the who. I was going to try to do it Ric Flair style, if you guys are familiar with Ric Flair. Nature Guy says, I truly believe this is time for a major change in my life. Good change. I'm so happy that you're stepping into it, Nature Guy. Rebecca says, a woo-hoo or just a woo? I added the who. Rebecca, I felt that you... Kat says, my mom wasn't perfect. Neither was mine. But no one's perfect. Sadly, we had our differences, but I still love her. Thinking of you, Mom. Chris T. Nature Guy says, my whole reason for making the jump is I'm starting personal growth, and this helps me more than even before. So happy to hear that, Nature Guy. YouTube's a wonderful place to do it. Creativity is our birthright. We're creative by nature. And conversely, that's exactly what you're sharing. You're sharing nature. He says, I didn't get to tell her I loved her before she passed, but I've told her spirit. MK said, I'd love to be. Will says, Yogi, can we please do some breath work? We can do some breath work. Let's do that now. As my little lagging is starting to get worse. I really need to switch my phone sooner or later. Let's see. T says, Yogi, did you ring the bell? Before we do breath work, we have a request for the bell. I want to let you know. Let me know when you're set. I'll ring the bell and then we will do our breath work. I don't want to surprise you. He says, Yogi. Sepa says, by internet intentionally disrupting these patterns through practice. Let me ring the bell first and then I'll read that, Sepa. I don't want to have Willa waiting. For all the moms present, for all the moms who have passed, love. There we go. Shirley, my friend, thank you so much. I am awestruck by this. Shirley, thank you. I might cry with you, Jack. Cat. Sorry. He says, well, Shirley, so much kindness around this community. Agreed. Get you guys. You're welcome. Cat says, well, Shirley, what a gift of love. I need to be, just need to be quiet for a moment. Sometimes only silence can really convey the deep love, the deep appreciation. over and over again. It's just not doing it. Rebecca says, Shirley, that's amazing. Very kind of you. It is. He says, Cat and Yogi, I'm blubbing happy tears. He says, still. Kat says she feels so much for mom now that she's the girls talk about her dreams. I had one visit and it was beautiful. Said by intentionally through practice like meditation, ritual, or even unexpected life events, we can for the higher states of awareness and pushing to emerge. Absolutely. Well said, Sniper. I feel very humbled right now. Thank you, Bola. Shirley says, we are happy in our humble abode, and God gives us more than we need to. I get to choose how to give the extra. I am honored to be. He says, Yogi, you created this community of kindness. Thank you. To be honest, I don't feel that I can take credit for it. The right people showed up. Guess what? You guys are the right people. How awesome is that? You guys are the right people. Community. I really need to have faith. I hope we can help with that, nature guy. I love Gandhi's quote of being the change. You can tell that you already are. Kat says, I hope you also feel the love. I do. Hello, Buddha. Buddha says, I just wanted to swing by out of respect and thank you for Shirley. Told me that you had prayed for me. Thank you and God bless. Namaste. Namaste to you, my friend. Buddha, we're always sending you love. MK says, we are the one who attracted the right people with his presence, Yogi. I don't know, MK. I think we're attracting each other. Yogi, if you didn't press the button to go live, you wouldn't have a community. You put in the. I feel blessed to have met you in your community. Been friends with T for over a year now. Same with Sniper. Sniper, it's been a year and a few months. Kat says, Yogi manifests the right people. Shirley says, someday, thank you, Kat. Someday I hope to look into your eyes like you do us and say, I love you. Thank you. Your presence shows love. Rebecca says, yes, Yogi, you're great to this community. He says, Shirley Yogi's amazing, isn't he? Man, I don't say except I definitely have Maybe I should just be quiet for a minute. B2C. Cat says yogi retreat. Well, Cat, we're going to have our own online retreat, hopefully starting tomorrow. I'm going to be honest. I'm not the best teacher, but I am sincere. I am sincere, and I'm sincere in my life path. I want this. I want 24/7 forgiveness. I want people to feel loved. I want to be able to join them in that sense. More than anything, I want to live a surrendered life, meaning that I don't want to ask for anything. I want to know that the Holy Spirit provides. It's scary. And then you guys show up. And you got to know there's something at work, because you guys don't show up by accident. Hey, Bob. Bob says, hey, everyone, doing dishes and listening. Thanks for stopping in. Shirley says, you have made it to the other side of tremendous pain, and you know and show the path. Thank you, Shirley. So let's walk that path together, guys. T says, go there is so perfect. You have helped me so much. Thank you for the love, understanding, support, and of course, the giggles. We've had a lot. We've had a lot of giggles. On that thought of manifesting the right people, how on earth did I ever manifest a fifth? How was that accomplished? Buddha's in the background. Thank you, Buddha. Kat says, Bob, hi, I don't have any dishes, but if you want to sweep around here next, I'll let you. You're so gracious, Kat. Yogi not go. Sniper says, the path is wide enough for all of us. Agreed, Sniper. Bob says, just got back from camping, so there's 3 days of dishes. He's good. Oh, we can do quick breath work. I'm sorry, Willow. We are going to begin now. For those, MK says, maybe you manifested one. Together you manifested a third, then with 3, 4th, and so on. I like that thought, MK. Hey, Ron. One says, I've set my restream for tonight. Can I get anyone's help to get that last 500 hours? Yes. Runner Boy, I'll play your playlist this week. Well, it says, yep, breathing time. We are going to do. Let's do the 4-7-8. It's almost everyone's favorite. Cat says, I'm in for breath work. So we're going to breathe in for a count of 4. We're going to hold for a count of 7. We're going to breathe out for a count of 8. We're going to do 6 rounds. Before we breathe, if you can close your eyes. Buddha says, Yogi, as you know, positive always attracts positivity. You're right, Buddha. You're absolutely right. Willa says, really not my favorite breath, but I do like this breath. So we're going to close our eyes. And bring a very serious tip of the nose. And the breath passing at the tip of the nose. Breath arriving, breath leaving. Gently in and out. Very easy focus. The mind wanders away from the breath. Simply notice, bring it back to the breath. Mindful breathing. We're going to ask you to take a deep breath in and then breathe out through the nose. And on the next breath, we're going to begin. So breathe in, release the breath, letting everything go. And we're going to breathe in for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathing in for a count of 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathing in for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathing in for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathing in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 2, 3, 4, 6, 5, 6. Last breath for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And surrender the breath. Just sit quietly, breathing easily, joyfully enjoying the space that you created with your breath. And when you're ready, open your eyes, carry that sense of peace with you for the rest of the evening. And I'll see you in the chat. Namaste. Hello, Joshua. Joshua says it's super late. You're just to say hi. You're always in time to say hi. We're actually going to end the live stream in just a minute. I got to get to bed, guys. Joshua says, Shirley, you have the biggest heart to fund for someone, especially even that big of one. Agreed, Joshua. Agreed. Kat says that was great. You're welcome, Kat. Thank you. To Yogi. There it is. Too bad here. Yo, I'm from Scotland. Yogi 2025. And hey man, you're bald 2025. That Joshua remembers. Joshua, how about one of your we were having a moment after the donation. Wish we could have stayed in that moment so good. Agreed, T. It's some magic. Right people were present. Um, you know, let's see. Nature guy says, before we go, Yogi, do you have a breath exercise recommended for that? And it has breath work. But breathing in is for a count of 4. Breathe out through the nose for a count of 8. Ha sound that we've been practicing. So breathing in, I'm going to demonstrate. It's laggy. I apologize. Breathing in for a count of 4, breathing out for a count of 8. That's 1 round. The breath in, the breath out. 10 rounds. Before you go to bed. You sleep. If you remember that cognitive shuffling I talked about yesterday, pick a random. Just a random word. No thought. Don't search for a word. Let the word come to you. We're not doing any concentration. Letter of the word, S. And think of words that begin with S. Sam. Salami. Why is a vegan talking about salami? Salamander. Salsa. Don't search for words. Let them come to you. No, it's me, Bumblebee. Then go to the next letter. L. Loft. Lift. Life. Lily. Making the brains to create that scene. So do your breath 4, 8, and then when you lay on your back, at it ha breathing for a bit if you want while you're on your back. Falling asleep. You're in bed. So do your front of us says we're back. Shut things down because of the lagging. Plus it's my bedtime. Plus well with Shirley says, Buddha, I have so much admiration for you. And the more I learn about you, the more I admire you. Buddha is beautiful. Kat says, remembering that magic, living that magic, feeling that magic, it's all part of manifesting. Why do I feel like I manifested Kat's appearance on my live stream? That I was given a true gift. Good, you guys. Took a lot away from this love. Thank you so much, and thank you, Kat, as well. Truly inspiring. Kat is. Get WhatsApp. Guys, say good night to all in the chat. Good night to you. Thank you. Hey, go check out magic going a little bit more. Please go check it out. Absolutely beautiful. And let me close with I love you guys. I think progressively